those headers. When I got this car, you know, I'd go out and get parts on the weekend, and I got those headers off a guy for $60. And I remember I had this little sandblaster, and I sandblasted those bastards out in the sun in Arizona. And I put the money in for the VHT paint, and there was no way to cure it, you know what I mean? As far as putting it in an oven and baking it, but I mean that stuff just burns right off. It's kind of a pet peeve, you know. You put all that work into it just to watch them melt when you start the motor. The ones I just did will do the same thing, but I'm gonna wrap them. I hope I'm gonna wrap them. I'm gonna get conflicting reports, you know. That header wrap, it does good things. But if you ever had an oil leak, that oil would just soak right into that stuff. Catch a fire. But this thing, it's got a brand new crate motor in it. 4-bolt main 350. Transmission's been rebuilt and beefed up with a kit. The drive shaft's rebuilt. It has a posi in it with the 355 gears. Used the HEI on it. All the body bushings are done. Front end's rebuilt. Rear suspension's rebuilt with new bushings, and what else? Oh, I got KYB shocks on it, and I have, what kind of springs do I have? I bought the lowering springs. They're I can't remember who the springs are made by. And I got a rear sway bar on it. Tank's rebuilt. The new sending unit. Let's see. New speedo cable, new throttle cable. Got an alarm on it. Bucket seats. Console shifter. I don't know, this car got like 5 or 6 autometer gauges on it. I'm getting ready to hook up my transmission gauge. I gotta pull the pan and weld in a little adapter plug, and I think while I'm there I'm going to change the rear seal on the transmission. I think it sat for a long time and dried up because it seemed to be leaking. I don't know, been picking some of the bugs out of it. I've got a new steering gear, a steering gear that I'm going to rebuild for this car. And I may have to rebuild the pump again to make sure it's clean. And I've got some bugs to work out of it. It needs a heater core. I have the original air conditioning stuff with powder coated brackets to match these. Silver vein, I think what they called it. A friend of mine did some brackets for me in Arizona when he worked at a shop, powder coating shop. Got a charging problem. I was getting a lot of junk out of the fuel line last year, messing up the carburetor. It's got a new Edelbrock carburetor on it, and I kept clogging stuff up. And anyway, I got a couple 3 filters on it right now, and ever since I started playing with the 56, this thing's kind of been sitting all summer. Needs some love, but this would be a great car to use for the next YouTube garage event. Kind of got my eyeballs out for a single wheeled rear end with the highway gears in it, because it's pretty easy to swap out, and this thing with the 355s it just wraps out pretty hard on the freeway. So I'd like to find another rear end that I can just switch in for road trips. And yeah, it's been a long time coming on this car. You know, when I was working hard, I didn't have a lot of time or money to play with this thing, and it takes a long time. Anyway, that's what's on this thing and what this car's up to. I plan on at some point starting the body work and stuff and straighten up all the panels and get rolling on it, but that's another day. Always wanted the mechanicals done first before I ever made it look pretty, and I don't know, I'm so used to them looking primered and a little sketchy on the outside. I'm just so used to it. Doesn't even bother me anymore. But anyway, catch you later. It's got the Hotchkiss springs in it. And I rebuilt the brakes. All the brakes are new too. Okay. It's got the Flowmasters all the way back. I guess it's the American Thunder series. It's 10 volt posi. Let's see. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the springs. But they're the high rate, fancy, dancy, whatever you want to call them. I gotta get under here and do a little wiping. Man. Getting a little bit of rust. I hate rust. Anyway, the exhaust has a crossover tube. Black jack headers. Burned up VHT paint. Underneath it's pretty dang solid. There's no rust really up in this car. Other than some of my brackets and but it's been a pretty good car, you know. As much as I've driven it, which is not much, but it's probably one of the most reliable things I got. As soon as I get it tuned up and get all the bugs picked out of it. But anywho, I'll shut you down. I'll catch you later.